The walls are closing in on the music industry's most powerful figures, and it seems not even the Ting, Jay-Z, is safe. While the world is distracted by the storm surrounding Diddy, Jay-Z's oldest rival, 50 Cent, has quietly ignited a fire under a secret that the Carter Empire has spent over a decade trying to bury. Rumors are swirling that 50 is now funding the legal battle of Rymir Satterthwaite, a man who claims to be Jay-Z's son from a relationship that could shatter his pristine image forever. This is no longer just a family drama. It's a strategic attack, and 50 Cent is arming the one person who holds what might be Jay-Z's most devastating secret. The whispers have turned into roars, and with 50 Cent's backing, a story that was once confined to court documents and internet forums is about to take center stage. The core of this ticking time bomb is an allegation that goes back to the early 90s, long before the billion-dollar brand, the stadiums, and the power couple. The claim comes from Rymir's late mother, Wanda Satterthwaite. In a signed affidavit she provided before her passing in 2019, she laid out the story of how she, at just 16 years old, met a 22-year-old aspiring rapper named Sean Carter. It was supposed to be a one-night encounter, but it allegedly resulted in a child Jay-Z has refused to acknowledge ever since. For years, this one detail, Wanda's age, has been the unspoken reason many believe Jay-Z has deployed his immense legal and financial power to avoid a simple paternity test. Acknowledging Rymir wouldn't just mean adding a son to the family tree, it can mean admitting to a relationship with a minor, a scandal that would be impossible to spin. Wanda fought for her son's identity until her death, and now Rymir continues that fight, armed with a story that gets more damning with every detail that emerges. For over a decade, Rymir Satterthwaite hasn't just been fighting Jay-Z. He claims he's been fighting a system that's been bought and paid for by him. The battle has been a nightmarish journey through the American legal system, marked by what Rymir describes as endless corruption and collusion. He has gone on record to state his belief that his own lawyers, the very people he paid out of pocket to represent him, were compromised and paid off by Jay-Z's camp to intentionally sabotage the case from the inside. Imagine the helplessness of walking into a courtroom believing you're fighting for justice, only to suspect your own team is working against you. Rymir has spoken passionately about filing motions that mysteriously disappear and presenting evidence that judges seem to conveniently overlook. He describes a system where the truth doesn't matter when faced with the immense influence of a billionaire. It's a harrowing account of legal fraud turning his quest for a father into a desperate struggle against a powerful machine seemingly designed to crush him. This narrative of the underdog against a rigged game has become central to his fight, painting a picture of a man who isn't just being denied a father, but also his basic rights. As if the legal warfare wasn't enough, the situation allegedly escalated into something far more sinister. According to Rymir and his godmother, Lily Colley, as they pushed forward, they began to face a campaign of intimidation designed to scare them into silence. They have spoken about the unnerving experience of being followed, a constant reminder that they were being watched. Lily even detailed a terrifying incident where Rymir's home was allegedly broken into. The intruders weren't there to steal anything of monetary value. They were there to deliver a message. It's been said they threatened to return and inflict harm on Rymir if he didn't drop the case against Jay-Z. The fear became so palpable that they reportedly went to the police multiple times, filing reports that seemed to go nowhere. To them, it felt like Jay-Z's influence extended far beyond the courtroom, reaching into the very institutions meant to protect them. These alleged threats transformed the case from a paternity dispute to a life-or-death struggle, raising the terrifying question, what secret is so dark that they would go to such lengths to keep it buried? At the heart of this entire saga is one simple, elusive piece of proof: Jay-Z's DNA. With the direct route of a court-ordered test seemingly blocked at every turn, Rymir tried a more creative approach. He submitted his DNA to Ancestry.com, hoping to trace his lineage and find a genetic link to the Carter family. It was a long shot, but it was a shot nonetheless. However, what happened next only deepened the mystery. When he tried to get his results, he was allegedly told there had been an error and his paperwork was unavailable. The results simply vanished. This incident became even more suspicious when compared to the case of another woman, Letitia Macer, who also publicly claimed to be Jay-Z's daughter. Reports suggest she used a similar online ancestry service to validate her claims. But shortly after her story gained traction, she went silent. The rumor is that she was quietly paid off and bound by a strict non-disclosure agreement. Seeing this, one can't help but wonder if a pattern has been established. When DNA gets too close to revealing the truth, the Carter empire allegedly steps in to either erase the evidence or buy the silence. Just as the case seemed destined to remain in a legal quagmire, an unexpected player entered the arena and flipped the entire board. Curtis Jackson, better known as 50 Cent, has taken a very public interest in Rymir's plight. His involvement isn't random. It's a calculated move in his long-standing Cold War with the hip-hop elite, particularly Diddy and his close associate Jay-Z. As the world watched Diddy's empire crumble, 50 Cent began relentlessly trolling Jay-Z, posting memes of his face on a milk carton with captions like, "Anybody seen Jay? LOL?" But the trolling has evolved into something far more substantial. Word on the street is that 50 Cent is now putting his money where his mouth is, allegedly funding Rymir's mounting legal fees. Furthermore, it's been heavily speculated that Rymir is being featured in 50's highly anticipated documentary about the dark side of the industry, which is expected to heavily feature Diddy and his circle. By bankrolling the lawsuit and giving Rymir a massive platform, 50 Cent is ensuring this scandal doesn't just stay alive, it explodes. He's pouring gasoline on a fire Jay-Z has been trying to stamp out for years, turning a personal battle into a public spectacle. While Jay-Z stands as the public face of this denial, Rymir's godmother Lily Colley has pointed to another powerful figure operating in the shadows: Beyonce. In interviews, Lily has claimed that years ago, Jay-Z was close to resolving the matter with Rymir behind the scenes. However, things allegedly came to a screeching halt, and Lily believes Beyonce's influence was the cause. The speculation is that at the time, Jay-Z and Beyonce were in a vulnerable place, reportedly facing their own struggles with conceiving a child. The idea of Jay-Z suddenly acknowledging a fully grown son with the talent was allegedly too much for the Queen to handle. It wasn't just a personal issue, it was a brand issue. The image of the perfect, unbreakable power couple could be tarnished by a secret from Jay-Z's past, especially one as complicated as this. While this remains speculation, it adds a fascinating layer of palace intrigue to the story. It suggests a potential conflict within the Carter household, a battle between a husband's past and a wife's vision for their future, their family, and their billion-dollar brand. Jay-Z has constructed an empire built on an image of untouchable excellence and meticulous control. For decades, he has been the master of his own narrative. But the story of Rymir Satterthwaite is the one narrative he can't seem to control. It's a relentless ghost from his past, a story that involves a damning underage allegation, a decade of bitter legal battles, and terrifying claims of corruption and intimidation. Now, with the financial backing and promotional power of his chief rival 50 Cent, this ghost is no longer whispering in the dark, it's screaming from the rooftops. Jay-Z's legal team has officially called the case a decade-long harassment, but the courts have recently denied his motion to dismiss it, forcing him to finally respond. Every empire has a foundation, and a crack in that foundation can bring the entire structure down. With the world watching and 50 Cent providing the fuel, the question is no longer if this secret will be exposed, but how devastating the fallout will be when it finally is. This could very well be the one crack that shatters the Carter throne.